Good morning. It is Monday. Yes, it is. It's 6:33. 33. Look up that angel number. Man, it's cold out already. Can you believe this? It's like this state. It's just crazy, man. It's like one day summer turns off and winter turns on. Or winter turns off and summer turns on. It's just crazy. One day you're sweating like crazy, and the next day where's my coat? Man, tonight is a full moon. You know what that means? Oh boy. Today is a day of introspection, of going inward. And it never fails. These moon cycles, man. I was thinking this morning about how pain often precedes breakthrough, how some of the most beautiful things in your life follow the most extreme and agonizing, painful moments of your life. Think about birth, I remember when my daughter Melody was born, my wife was like, first of all, she didn't use any drugs at all. She had natural childbirth in a jacuzzi pool. And this whole process took 5 or 6 hours. And when we knew she was going into labor, she was uncomfortable. And then as I think the first 2 hours came on, increasing pain and discomfort and waves of contractions. And I was there to witness all of this. I saw it. And I watched her eventually slip into some state that I don't know what it was, but it was just moments of extreme pain, agony, and she would be met with just like a minute of relief. And as time went by, the contractions were more severe, more painful, and less time between them. And I remember thinking, God, when is this going to end? Like how much can a person take? And it seemed to me like she wasn't even there anymore. Like she was just in this world of pain. And I remember feeling just so helpless, and I didn't know what to do because I couldn't do anything to stop the pain. And I remember begging God to give me some of that pain. Like I would take it, do anything to lessen the pain or take the pain away that she was feeling. And she had to endure that pain. There was no getting away from it. There was no escaping it. was really something. And I remember, well, finally, my daughter her head popped out. I could see her head. I could see her head under the water. And I was looking around at the nurses, and I was like, what are you going to do about this? And I could just see her little head sticking out. And she was totally submerged under the water, and I'm thinking, she's going to drown. And everybody was so chill. It was really crazy. And they did finally. My wife pushed some more, and the rest of my daughter broke into this world. And then my wife's pain was over, and they took my daughter and they placed her on my wife's chest, and she held Melody, and Melody she didn't say a word through this whole process, which blew my mind. No crying, no nothing. And now when I think about it, I'm like, that's insane. I mean, what a transition from being birthed and brought into this world, and I would think would be a pretty uncomfortable way. And yet both my wife and her child were at rest peacefully in the pool, just gathering their strength and just what a journey. And she did it without any drugs. She went and she felt the full brunt of it the whole way. And I have to say, with all the differences that I have, and we're no longer together, we're divorced, but there's a respect there. And what she did was courageous and beautiful. It was. And probably the most agonizing pain, physical pain she's ever felt, But look what it brought in. This promise of tomorrow, this gem that my daughter is. And I just think that that's like the ultimate example of how pain brings in something beautiful, how it often comes before the blessing. And hang on just a second, I gotta make sure this light don't turn off. And last year, this breakup that I had brought on, for me, the equivalent, I guess, of birthing pains. And I went through this period of time where I was out of my mind, just somewhere else, not here. And it triggered what we call this spiritual awakening, a dark night of the soul, which brought in even more pain. Because now it's more than just pain of separation. It's now pain of seeing yourself and the world in its true light, which isn't always a pleasurable experience. We think about what things aren't going our way, or we're stuck, or we're having problems, or the path is difficult in our life. It's because there's aspects of ourselves where we're out of alignment. And the process of getting back on the road, on the right path, the act or the process of getting back into alignment, or maybe getting into alignment for the first time in your life, is painful, because it's a rebirth. You're in the process of being born again, as this process, the dark night of the soul, the spiritual awakening, starts dismantling your ego. And its mission is to kill it entirely, completely. Every bit of it, and just destroy it, so that something new is born. And you really are born again in the truest sense of the word. And it's a long process. It can take years. And when that process is done, when the surgery is done, then there's even recovery time, where you have to recover from that surgery, because it's the equivalent of all the contractions of giving birth, that pain, that agony, that just exhaustion of taking that journey. It'll wipe you out. Your muscles, your body aches, you have like flu-like symptoms, you lose weight, you feel like, you're dying. And in a sense, a part of you has died. And as you start to regain your composure, you get your sea legs, and your body starts healing again, and your mind starts healing, and you realize that you're starting to see things really differently than you did before. And it's an interesting time, because you're really forced into this hermit mode, where you just kind of have to sit in it, sit with yourself, and lots of introspection, lots of reading, lots of contemplating, a lot of taking stock of your whole life. And it's a real interesting process, as you're going through this. And the days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months. And the months for me turned into over a year. And slowly but surely, you see things differently, like everything, like even the sunrise, the sunset, the creatures around you, birds, insects, everything starts to look different. Even everything, like the gentle breeze, a a branch that is bending from the wind, the smell of rain. Everything is just intensified. It's so crazy. Movies seem like, even movies you had seen before, and now all of these hidden messages come out, and you see things in them that you never saw before. And the same with music and the lyrics and the songs. And all of a sudden you're just like, what the hell is going on? It's the same world, but it's new at the same time. It's really crazy. And then something else takes root. This desire for true connection, for true relationship, for true love starts filling your heart space. This is the awakening process I'm describing, okay? This is after the court case portion of it, which it's the opposite of what I'm describing now. But see some of my other videos for that description of the court case portion of your spiritual awakening. But now your heart is aching for real love, for real connection, for real alignment. And you start to realize that there is no stopping this either. It is going to get it and find it, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And you start becoming moved to connect with people. And these videos, if you've been watching them, you'll see that transition, and you see that effort and that willingness to be vulnerable and open with all of you on my part, publicly sharing my setbacks and my triumphs, and eventually the challenge that I've accepted and I'm offering to all of you who are watching to join in this mission work that this birthing process has given birth to. And the mission is to bring in this new world where we don't have to think about all this ridiculous horseshit every day that we see. The school shootings, war, the anger that we feel for our neighbor because we're not happy with the way they think. The new world, you're free from all of that. You'd find joy and love in the differences that you have with your neighbor, and you love them anyway, no matter what. And they love you. And this is not a pipe dream, you guys. This is not a fantasy land. But it is if you think it is. I've watched this change come over me. And that's how come I know it's possible for everyone. You can have true unconditional love in this world, and it can be, first it starts with you, but then it mirrors out into the world. And what it really requires is for all of us, for as many of us as possible, to walk together, to make a conscious effort together every day to choose to see the good in yourself and the people around you instead of noticing the bad. It's so easy to notice the negative. And you have so many programs on television that all they do is concentrate and put emphasis on the negative, and it has a terrible effect on everybody, on the world, as the world is inundated with all of this negative energy constantly. And it's on purpose. It's on purpose because there are people who are consciously trying to keep the new world from coming into existence, because they have power over you and me, and they don't want to let go of that power. They want to be able to control us. We're easy to control when we're hopeless, or when we're cynical, or when we're sad or angry. They don't want us to be happy. They don't want us to be hopeful. They don't want us to have unconditional love, because when you have unconditional love, there's no fear in you. You don't fear your neighbor. You don't care if your neighbor is a Jehovah's Witness, if your neighbor is a Protestant, if your neighbor is a Catholic, or even if your neighbor is an atheist. You just don't care. You still love them. But you guys, it's so important. You have to, like, every day, you have to do something. Make a conscious effort to bring this awareness into your person. And it's hard. There is a state of mind, though. There is a state you can get into where it's not hard, where it's not work, where it's a true, natural, a state of awareness, a state of being. And that is to accept, welcome, and take on. Have your spiritual awakening. Ask God for it. Ask the universe to give you the spiritual awakening if you're finding it difficult to love your neighbor, if you're finding it difficult to love yourself, if you're finding it difficult to enjoy this beautiful world that you've been gifted with. If you think tomorrow is a disaster because something that was done to you, or you think was done to you, or something you did to somebody, you don't have to live your life that way, and you shouldn't. There's something you can do about it, but if it's not working for you, you need to try something different. But you got to make a conscious effort to do it. And walking knowingly into a pocket of pain is something that I think we just instinctively say no to. A spiritual awakening is painful. It's so painful because you have to dismantle your ego. Your ego is dismantled, and you're just like disassembled and then reassembled, and that is not comfortable. But it doesn't last forever, and when it's done, you're going to see yourself in the world in a totally different light. But it's a voluntary process. You don't have to do it. But if you're finding it difficult in life, if you're just, and I know that there's just so many people who are having a hard time. You just can't get out of your own way. It's just too difficult. Then let the universe, let God help you. That's what it's there for. And, I think that most people at some point in their life, they come into this awareness that they need some help. and things just aren't working out like they thought they would or they should. And you just feel kind of lost, like you don't know what to do. That's a good place to be in a sense, because now you're open for help. And a spiritual awakening can be that help. And there's so many benefits, which a lot of my videos will talk about, of going through this process. And afterwards, it's amazing. I'm telling you. There's more here than meets the eye. But you have to be curious first. You have to be someone that is, one, willing to accept the idea or notion that the nature of reality is more than what you think it is. It's more than what it seems. That there are hidden realities. That there's new awareness and new concepts that are waiting for you to find them, to seek them out. And it's totally up to you. It really is. And there are lots of people who have already taken this journey, and they're there for you, like me. I'm here for you. All you have to do is ask. And but the universe is ready for you if you want to take this trip. There's lots of material on the internet where you can acquaint yourself with this trip before you take it. If you're one of those people that likes to plan things out, just like you're going to take a vacation, you want to know exactly when you're leaving. You want to know when you're coming back. You might want to know how you're going to get to where you're going. You want to know where you're staying, where you're sleeping, how you're going to eat. And you're a planner. If you're a planner type, you can do that. There's so much information already available to help you understand what you are signing up for when you get your spiritual awakening. And you can walk into it with a pretty clear idea of what's in store for you. Or you can just be like one of those people that just jumps in the frigid water without even dipping their toe in. They're just like, forget it, man. I'm just going for it. I don't care. I'm just going. I'm ready. I know this is what I want to do. I'm going to do it, man. I'm just jumping in. Bravo. Whatever the circumstances, is that it's there for you if you want to take it. And there are lots of people like me out there to help you. And there's some really great content out there by people who are much better qualified to talk about this than me. I have my own way of sharing. And there are other people who have different gifts than me, and they explain it in different ways. And that's the beauty of this global consciousness that we have here with the internet, is that you're able to find and choose the kind of content that you bring to yourself. But make it, a conscious effort that you're looking for quality content, and watch and see how your life changes, instead of watching the news, instead of doom scrolling and all that garbage. You want to have a good life, you need to be a little more purpose-driven and more conscious efforts put into the right ideas and notions and concepts. It requires a little bit of work and a willingness to be wrong, and a willingness to go inside and be honest with yourself. And if you find that difficult, that's the beauty of the spiritual awakening, because it does it for you. You can't run from it. Because once that program starts, and takes root inside of you, it's going to finish its work, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's what I like about it, because your instinct is to run from pain. Yeah, so your spiritual awakening is kind of like childbirth. You can't get away from it. The pain of those contractions and that birthing process, it's got to finish. It's got to complete. In fact, it's on it. It does it by itself. Those contractions, you don't control that. Something else is controlling it. It's the same with your spiritual awakening. It's out of your hands, and it's gonna do what it does. But what you're left with is that you're a newborn. You're born again. If you could look at it that way, you can see the beauty in it, the beauty in the pain. You find beauty in the pain. You don't curse the pain. You're not trying to run from it, because you know that the pain is creating something new, something beautiful. It's just the way things work. Oftentimes pain precedes breakthrough. And I don't know why it has to be that way. Just know that it is that way. And kind of, if you understand that, it kind of helps to know, at least, you say it's going to be over at some point. And then I can get back to enjoying things, and enjoy you will at a much deeper level. So anyway, I want to beat a dead horse. But I hope everybody's day is good. If it's not, I sure hope it gets better. It's totally up to you. But I'm thinking about you always, and I'm so grateful those of you who are watching these videos and who are open to this mission work that is happening. And I just can't wait to see where we're going to be 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. It's really exciting to think about what we're doing together, how we're sending positive energy into the world, and our collective love, that collective unconditional love, leaking out into the universe. You're making the world a better place. And the more people that we have standing with us, walking with us, the quicker we can bring in this new world. We all need each other to do it. So, welcome aboard. Hey, maybe you know somebody who'd like to take this trip with us. Take a chance. Share your ideas, share your concerns, share your breakthroughs with somebody. You never know what's going to happen. Expect the unexpected. That's what I would say. But you never know until you try. So, I love you. I'll see you soon.